So with the end of Solo Leveling episode 6 comes Jinwoo's re-evaluation and our introduction to Lee Minsung, an A rank we spoke about in the last episode. He's setting up a press conference to announce to Korea that he's an A rank, though this is just a media show for attention as he's already been assessed for an A rank and had already joined the Reaper Guild on a 2-year contract. Beck and Choi would show up, not for Minsung. Today is also Jinwoo's re-evaluation, but the media wouldn't know that, so of course they heckled the two guildmasters, asking them about the prospects of Minsung joining their guild. While Beck had no idea who they were talking about, Choi seems to already be aware of the person. At any rate, when the reporters get out of their way, they have an all but friendly chat. In the manhwa, it would seem like they both fired first, but in the anime, Choi seems to be the bigger asshole, until the president of the Reaper Guild would appear, the S rank, Lim Tae-gyu, and he would inquire if they're both here for Minsung Lee, but they both tell him to fuck off. Man, this dude looks like he hasn't slept in months, but I guess Aizawa needs a job after my hero. Right? Now this scene with Jinha's classmates watching the press conference wasn't in the manhwa. It is an anime exclusive. Well, at least the first scene before Jinwoo would be announced as a 10th S rank. This is to show how important, or rather how much of a celebrity status high ranked hunters are regarded as even a simple press conference most of the country would be watching. On top of that, Minsung called this conference not only because he was an attention whore, but because he wanted to sweep some of his scandals under the rug. And if you're asking what type of scandals, it is that people call him a coward for avoiding military service, and since then people have had a bad opinion of him. He plans to use his work as a hunter to compensate in the public's eye to erase the image of him being a coward. As you know, hunters risk their lives every day in dungeons. What a sleazeball. In the manhwa, things would play out a little bit differently in that Minsung's speech wasn't present. Jinwoo would stumble upon the crowd and then make his way through, only to be stopped by Minsung's bodyguard. Minsung would be standing and watching, only to hear President Go stepping up and inviting Jinwoo inside. The anime changed Go's stance on this press conference, as in the manhwa he originally said that he authorized it. At any rate, he brushes it all off and accompanies Jinwoo inside. At this point is where I think the biggest differences happen in the manhwa as opposed to the anime. Let me break it down for you. When Jinwoo gets escorted inside, Minsung would become pissed and enraged, ordering one of his guards to investigate who Jinwoo was and then running off and trying to up the scheduled time. He would get stopped by Woo, at which point he proceeds to use his fame to try and intimidate Woo. This particular part I don't believe the anime will ever address, so I'll go right ahead and do so. Minsung Lee is the son of the current vice president of Yujin Construction Company. In case you recognize that name, it's the same company that Jinho belongs to, and his father is the current president. The vice president is a prominent character that donates a lot of money to the association, so he's got a lot of pull and power. So you can see why Minsung was so confident with a splash of arrogance and would be shocked and angered when the very president of the association would brush him off as if he was nothing. But Woo isn't like that. Woo isn't intimidated, so he tells the little kid to just fuck off. The evaluation goes pretty much the same as we see in the anime, except that Jinwoo was a bit indifferent to President Choi and Beck. In the manhwa, he would give them an excuse and try to walk out, only to walk into a crazed paparazzi over the new announcement. This is where everyone would get the news that he's the new S rank, the 10th in the country. And we even get a cameo from our #1 healer girl. In the manhwa, right before Jinwoo would exit the building, Minsung would be trying to get the media excited about the prospects of his evaluation once more. More or less what he says here does get carried over to the anime, but a little bit earlier in the episode. But when Jinwoo exits, the media just got a notification that he's an S rank, so of course the frenzy would be all over him. And even Minsung's agent leaves him high and dry to get an interview with Jinwoo. There's something that I didn't say outright and maybe went over a lot of people's heads, is that Jinwoo is a little different when it comes on to the manhwa's portrayal as him in the anime, and I bet that he's much different in the novels as well. For certain scenes, especially this one, we can see in the anime, Jinwoo is a bit indifferent when it comes on to the guild leaders, as he really doesn't care about them. But in the manhwa, in many cases, he doesn't really want to disrespect them, so he tries to get out of their way by making excuses as quickly as he could possibly do so. At any rate, I just wanted to make sure that's very clear. His personality is much different across different media. One scene that was left out from the anime is right before the meeting with Jinho and his father, was of him finding out Jinwoo was an S rank, which would bring a little more weight to their conversation. While in the manhwa, it would change Jinho's father's perspective, in the anime, without this information, naturally their conversation between the two media would change a lot, and here's what I mean. His dad would seem a little bit more disappointed and having high hopes for his son, who made all these outlandish promises, which seem so achievable, decide to throw it all away and join another guild, no less. So he leaves Jinho with a warning, while in the manhwa, their talk would be a little bit more in depth. Again, there are some material here that the anime completely omitted, but based on what he said, I think I'll elaborate some more. You see, he scolds his son, letting him in on a little secret of why he would want to run a guild. Jinho was under the impression that his father would run a guild for monetary gain, but instead it was all for protection. His father figured out from earlier on that having powerful hunters by your side whom you can trust can protect you even against nation level hunters. These are hunters that even outclass S ranks, which might be a little spoiler, but don't worry, I won't say any names or anything like that. At any rate, the conversation would pretty much come to the same conclusion, where Jinho would be resolved to join Jinwoo. This then would also lead to him kicking Jinho out of his mansion or townhouse. Either way, it's the same thing. It's a goddamn mansion. Jeez. Moving right along with the events of the manhwa and anime kind of lining up here, but there was one particular scene right before Jinwoo would go equipment shopping that wasn't in the anime, but I won't really cover that because that will be some kind of spoiler, so I'll skip it for now. Maybe the episode after this I'll mention it a little more like before, but it may not come back until probably the end of the season, so depending on what happens, I'll let you guys know about it. Anyways, another scene that was skipped was Jinwoo allowing this guy to appraise the sphere of avarice, in which case it would be revealed that even the best artisans can only create items that can amplify magic by 50%, showing how powerful and rare this artifact is. And then the guy would be asking Jinwoo, hey, would you like to auction it? In which case Jinwoo would say, you know what? Let's do that a little later. I'm looking for fire resistant gear. At any rate, Jinwoo would also try to break this glass, but then was told that it was a joke, which was kind of a crazy joke to make in front of a serious S rank. I don't know why he would do that, but anyways. We head on over to the weaponry guy, who he has to appraise his dagger, only to find out that it's worth much more in the real world than in his shop. We flip over to Beck contemplating if it's even possible for a hunter to get more powerful, where it would be the only reasonable explanation for Sung being stronger now than when they met at the Red Gate. The anime didn't mention this, but Beck has a unique ability to read his opponent's abilities, mainly their strength, and when he met Jinwoo the first time, he used it. It's called Eye of the Beast. This was at the Red Gate, and then he used it again at the evaluation. As you can see, his eyes light up in both scenes. Naturally, he would realize that Jinwoo had gotten stronger, so he would actually come to the conclusion that Jinwoo has the ability to grow stronger, and Beck would be one of the only ones outside of those that have seen Jinwoo's ability or who he revealed his ability to, who would really know the depths of this. Moving right over to Jinha's scene, when she was looking out the window, it was revealed that there are no reporters. In the manhwa, we actually get a scene of them being ravenous dogs, camping out all day and night, just to get a glimpse of Sung, only to see Jinha, who hides, and then Jinwoo would appear asking if he should go out there and chase them off, leading up to the scene where Jinho arrives at his front door. In the anime, Jinwoo would quickly come up with an excuse saying that they're heading out for a week, but in the manhwa, things played out a little differently. You see, I mentioned it before, his father actually kicked him out for joining up with Jinwoo, so he's here to ask to crash at Jinwoo's place for a while, at which case he would get the door slammed in his face, and then Jinwoo would tell his sister that he's never seen that dude before in his life. Cold, right? But highly comical. In the manhwa, we also get a scene of Jinho's father after passing out, but the anime would have it a little bit closer to the end. Right here is where Jinwoo would go ahead and summon some of his guards, well, Tusk's guards, and this is when he realizes that he actually missed one. The guy is still in the ceiling. Oh my god. Way to go, Jinwoo. So then he assigns one of the guards to protect his sister, and then decides, you know what, let's do a few other shadows to just protect this entire area. I don't want anything to happen to my sister or anyone else here, you know? At any rate, we switch on over to Jinwoo and Jinho off on their adventure, after which Jinwoo would hop out and be on his way. While in the manhwa, he just vanishes before Jinho even realizes it. Inside the tower, he now dons his new magic resistant item, and hey, he has a new job skill, so an even better incentive to finish. Now, I won't go into too much about his job skill, as that would be a little bit of a spoiler, but one clue I have for you about everything that's going on is simply read the title of his new job quest. Pretty dead giveaway. At any rate, things play out a little bit differently here in the manhwa as opposed to the anime, as per usual. We would get the scene of Jinho's father fainting, and to cover this full scene, he would actually have the same disease as Jinwoo's mother, the eternal sleep. So very soon he would fall into a coma and never wake up. He would contemplate what this means for his life and also his company, and if it's divine intervention or something. Maybe he was dying before his time, you know, stuff that fathers would worry about. But moving right along, at the demon castle, we see a full-on motherfucking kaiju fight where Tusk shows what he's really made of and decimates the entire place as if it was nothing. In the manhwa, it wasn't just one giant demon, it was a multitude of them, and Tusk would proceed to decimate them and everything around him with great prejudice. We also get this ant scene where these two guys stumble upon one of the ants, but then we jump right back to the demon castle. What is it about ants and hunters? The hell? This was so traumatizing in Hunter x Hunter. Now we have to do it all over again. Oh my god. Jinwoo has made his troops into squads and now sent them out to massacre demons, only to realize that his squad is being wiped out, methodically at that. This shows that the demons that are attacking them are much more intelligent, so Jinwoo makes a plan to assassinate them all. They attack Tank's group, and Jinwoo would appear just in time to slaughter these demon knights, and now he's on to the final. This is where we end the episode. And I don't know why, but Jinwoo just reminds me of Gojo here. God damn it, this is the same aura farming. And I didn't write an outro for this video. I actually recorded everything right after the episode aired, and I think I might release this video a little bit early. I'm not sure, it's all based on my schedule. Now you're probably saying, hey, what about the other videos that you promised? They are in the works, but remember, I don't have as much time as somebody that just sits around. I do have a job and a house and stuff like that. So cut me some slack here. Cut me some slack. On the weekends, I have so little time to do god awful anything. But I'll do my best to, you know, work on those videos on the side. But they are coming with some explanations and some breakdowns about certain aspects of this world. And don't worry, I haven't stopped covering Demon Slayer. I'm still doing it. It's just that the videos, as I said, are taking a little longer because it's a one-man show here. I don't have anyone in the back helping me. This is all me. Anyways, let's do the usual stuff. You know, like, subscribe, and definitely share your comments below. I want to hear them all. Thank you again for watching V Nation. I've been your host, Kyle. Peace out. Stay safe out there.